masculine man, take one.
Ooh, what makes a modern day masculine man? When you drink your liquor straight, a modern day masculine man. I pay all the bills and I tells my woman the truth. Got my shit together, do what I wanna do, say what I wanna say. I won't bend, I won't break, you are not me and I am not you. I kept it real, so now I can do what I wanna do. Modern masculine man. Welcome to Man School.
Welcome to the Modern Masculine Man Podcast, Mitch. Woo!
What up, family? What up, Trab?
What's going on, brother?
He over there kirking, ching, chief master. Let me get a little zoom in on myself a little bit so I can feel like I'm on a real TV show. There we go. What's up, bro? You know how I always do before we get started. Do we got sound, y'all? Do we got good sound? Let me know if we got good sound. Chris, do we got good sound? Trav, let's go ahead and talk, man. How your week been, man?
Man, it's been an interesting week, man. You know, you have highs and lows. I'm going to say in my own way, I've been going through some lows, but it felt good when I got back high to understand, man. So it's been an interesting learning week.
Well, you know, we both got our own terms for that. You had to goddamn bubble up. That's not what you had to do. You had to go from the damn pink Debbie land to the green boom boom room. You had to bubble up on them.
Yeah.
You know, that's funny, man, because I say all the time, no matter what we say, we control how we feel about any situation. We control how we feel about it. We create our reality. I was looking at your book. We'll talk about that a little bit later in just how similar our ideas is, you know what I'm saying? And just the way you say things, the same thing I say in different ways, the way we, you know, like you said, kick our judo, you know what I'm saying, when we in our own dojo. But yeah, man, you know, like you said, your week was going a certain way and then you chose to, you know what I'm saying, bubble on up, or did some great happen? How is it better? You know what I'm saying? Talk to the people.
Well, just understanding that too much sunshine brings you in a drought. So sometimes the rain be necessary, and I'm gonna be kind of open with it. You know, it was my anniversary week.
Yeah.
And certain things came up where we had disagreements about certain things, and you know, ain't nobody above the bullshit. So we go through our little cycle, and when you're in it, sometimes it feel bigger than what it is, cause hey, it's necessary. I want to release some things, but we got it together right in time for the anniversary, man. And it was like going through that made us appreciate to understand how much we had been fighting to hold on and be strong. So, you know, just being real enough to be real enough to say when it's time to say fuck it, that's all right too.
Well, man, you just said something, like I said, the way you say things, too much sunshine to bring a motherfucking drought on your ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a nice way of saying that every day ain't gonna be motherfucking happy.
Yeah, too much of anything is bad for the soul, man.
Yeah. That's what's up. Well, Trav, before we get started, man, I just want to say, man, I've been checking the book out. I love the book. I love the format. It's an easy read. I like the illustration in it. Each illustration is, I can tell, is very well thought out, and it's not a kiddie illustration to hold my attention. You know what I'm saying? Man, the way you did it, man, and with the questions at the end of each stanza, I can see how a person can use that book and go back over it in a year's time, look at their life and be like, okay, I can see where I'm becoming a hero at. You know what I'm saying? And can see how they growing. And it's also written in a way, it's like I had a teacher in high school named James Howell. He was he taught algebra 1 and geometry. And we used to always say, no matter who you were, it was a saying, if you can't learn math in Coach Howell class, you ain't gonna learn no motherfucking math. And that's how I kind of look at that book. If you can't learn this shit and get some hero thought process, basically it's saying what I always say, you know what I'm saying? Your outside world is controlled by your inner thoughts. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm totally getting from it so far. And if you can't understand that, it ain't no fucking law of attraction mumbo jumbo. It ain't no fucking as is, above, below mumbo jumbo. It's just plain old hero talk. You know what I'm saying? And before we get into that, explain why you chose to do your format the way you doing, and explain why it seems so basic and simple, but it means so much. Like these. The book is kind of like these sayings you be saying. Like, you got a lot of motherfucking sayings, you know what I'm saying? And the book is kind of like these sayings. Like you just said, too much sunshine and put your ass in a drought. Sometimes you need the rain. That's the type of shit I'm getting through the book the whole way through.
Yeah, man. Well, it came about, being honest. I've been on this journey of knowledge of self for a long time, 20 years, man. And like yourself, over the years, we've been on here for 9 years at least, hanging from every branch, whether it be religion, politics, concepts, law of attraction, Egyptian, the Bible. And it's all about just trying to understand that, man, the only way we can really help ourselves is understand which way our help come from. And I got a song, man. I was listening to it before we started. It say, we are we got, we are we need. And it's like, I really in my soul feel, if we just understand the perspective of where we see and how we see each other, to know that it's about us. So through all the years of putting on Facebook and feeling like I'm misunderstood, feeling like don't nobody get the point, that's what brought that format. This is what I've been saying on Facebook. This is what you've been reading for all these years. Now just let me break it down so simple that a child can understand it, because that's the power of the truth. A child really knows it. And the older we get, the further we get away from it. So just trying to make it simple to where if you really want it, here it is.
Yeah, that's funny. I had a professor in college that was my writing professor for 2 years. And he used to always say, I need it more clear and concise, more clear and concise. And I would be like, damn, I'm trying to put my little razzle dazzle on my little imagery and my spin on my writing. You know what I'm saying? You know, I was more persuasive, right? And, you know, I like to put my little spin, my little imagery. And he was like, clear and concise, Clark, clear and concise. I need it more clear and concise. And then one day I realized what he really was saying is, if you know what the fuck you talking about, you can explain it very clear and concise. And he was basically saying all that extra shit I was adding in there was to razzle dazzle you and make you say, oh, he's such a brilliant writer. But when it's all said and done, you're not getting a clear and concise point from me. And that's how I look at your book. It's just clear and fucking concise, straight to the point.
You know, I often hear you talk about your granddaddy, and I talk about my granddaddies and my daddies.
Yeah.
These powerful black men that really understood something come where reading wasn't popular or reading wasn't accessible in a sense to their foundation. So, man, when we learn how it works from the inside out, just learning and understand how it works and knowing your position in it. Like you say, this ain't about smart. This ain't about none of that. It's about being real in the moment. And if you ain't real in the moment, man, you'd be surprised at what you can do. And we got away from doing. We think it's all about knowing, but it's actually about doing. What can you do? So just to bring it down to the simplicity of talking to a child, teaching them what to do. That's what we just got to remember. It's already in us.
Yeah, man, we're going to go ahead and get it started tonight. Folks, tonight we're going to be talking about when black men have to be the financial rock of the family. Kind of when like the black man has to be the financial plan of the family. Quick story of my life to tell you how this, when I was coming up, I don't know if your family was like this, Trav. You know, you had a father, and a patriarchal system, but for some reason, you know, even with my great grandfather and my father, there was like this pressure on me to be the one to deliver the family out of Egypt. You know what I'm saying? It was like, that boy can play basketball. He can play football. He's smart. He going to college. He going to do something for the family. Like, I felt this pressure, and this pressure to not only for the family, this pressure to take care of my mother and make sure my mom was straight. And I saw that, you know, when I went to college and then I didn't go pro, when I would come home, I had people in my neighborhood that would say shit like, boy, we thought you was going to be the one. We thought you was going to put Ridgeway on the map. You know what I'm saying? Everybody basically saying, thinking they was going to eat off me. Yeah. And I see even my nephew now, Deuce, he's like a younger version of me, but he's 10 times better than I was. Yeah. And I even find myself joking with him one day, like, boy, you finna put our name on the map. You know what I'm saying? As much as I felt that pressure on myself, I said that to him. And then I kind of like, nah, man, you know, you do your thing. If you don't want to play ball in college, you know, I kind of pulled back on it because I knew how that pressure felt. And we get this early. Was that something you experienced early? I mean, I know you had a father, but like early on, do you feel like a pressure as a black man to somehow deliver your family from poverty or make your last name a name that means something in your hometown?
I think for me, it was just more so about understanding the stereotypes of black men, understanding the stereotypes of every negative aspect we hear, and watching my daddy go through certain things, fall into these stereotypes, or watch my daddy be judged in ways where people don't understand who he is as a man. So for me, it was just wanting to prove something, man. I feel like every natural, healthy young man needs something to prove, whether that be healthy or not, or imbalanced or not, but just needing to prove something and knowing what it takes to prove something. That's confidence, that's assertiveness, that's support, that's all the things that it takes to build up a young man posture. But I think we all need something to prove. So I just wanted to prove, and still to this day, I can be better than my daddy and show that he did a good job in everything he put in me. His best was worth something. So, you know.
That's what's up. I'm going to give a quick shout out to my man Ilkan El Ali in the house for the donation. But also, man, Ilkan is doing big things on the internet. I watched his platform grow from quick story. And this is how I say iron sharpen irons. Ilkan was trying to do something with me a long time ago. And this is when I was like totally against podcasts. And even now I'm kind of against podcasts, but Ilkan is doing some things on relationships and building the black community. And he has a panel. So y'all go check Ilkan out. Ilkan's panel, it be some real conversations on there. But the point I'm making is I've watched this man grow his platform from like 6 people, you know what I'm saying, to now like Ilkan is the man. I seen like a lot of people within the relationship black community podcast on his podcast. So basically saying he done blew his shit up, and it feel good to watch him do that. And it inspires me because I remember when he was trying to get me to do it, and I was like, I just don't want to do a podcast. So that's one of those moments where they say, you put your motherfucking foot in your mouth or some shit backfire on you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Just to see my guy blow up like that. So it really inspires me to keep going with what we doing, man. But I just wanted to give him that little shout out. And anybody that's got a voice, man, and you got something you want to put out here, especially if you're trying to build, you know what I'm saying? Do your thing and don't be scared to go out there and do that. Trab, being the financial rock of your family, like I say, there's been certain situations where I've always had help from my wife, so I haven't felt that. Now, what I do feel is when you, in my life, I want you to speak on this too. In my life, people have seen me be responsible. You see what I'm saying? And that's all I call it is responsible. We was joking before we got on, like, damn, you got on some AN1 shorts. I got on some AN1 shorts. You know what I'm saying? I was just saying I bought 6 sweatsuits for like $80. I've always been frugal and always been responsible. So people have seen me and my wife go on trips or leave the country and do things, and they assume that I got more money than I have. You know what I'm saying? And that feeling of friends and family needing help has been a pressure to me. There's been times where I know I have maybe given when I didn't have to give, hoping I would get paid back just to show that I wanted to help. And then some was ego, possibly liking somewhat of that role to say, hey, he the one that's doing all right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So expound on that.
Well, bottom line, discipline leads to a beautiful place. And we got to understand that profit and money is the result of something, right?
Yeah.
So, I can only speak for myself. Like you say, some people will look at the material things and say, well, man, he got this, or it looked like this. And like you said, we all going through the same thing, working to survive and to maintain. Math is a universal. How much you got coming in divided by what you got going out leaves a sum of what you can do to create feelings that make life worth living.
Look how you said that.
How good are you working your equation,
man? Say that shit again. He just summed up life right there. Just say that what you said, starting at math is universal.
Well, math is universal. We all got an income. We all got money that comes in. We all got responsibilities that it takes to live. We divide that by our income. The sum of that, we either save to put ourselves in better situations or create the feelings that make life worth living. But we all going through the same thing, working to survive and to maintain. So when I say math is universal, it's like there's power in simplicity. So if you keep things simple to keep your equation always at the axis of solving the why, boom, what's 2 + 2? 4. Boom. You see what I'm saying? But if you keep adding your equation to be deeper and deeper and deeper, to now your every moment is what's 3 × 5 divided by 6 carry the 4 over 1. Life gonna kick your ass while you figuring some shit out. So when you keep it simple and power and discipline, it always look like something. Even if it don't cost much, it looks like something.
You know, it's funny how you were saying with that equation and the things you said to working to have the things that live in life that make life feel good. Anyway, it's basically what I heard was it's coming in, what you got going out, what you got left, you're going to save or you're going to spend on enjoying your motherfucking life. And it's funny, me and my wife was just talking because she's a school teacher. And she could have her pay broken up to, you know, over the summer to get paid a check, but she don't, you know what I'm saying? So we was just talking and, you know, looking at finances and, you know, it was like, okay, about 3 months, I ain't gonna get paid. And I'm like, okay. I said, I might work a little extra, you know what I'm saying? She was like, no, I already budgeted for that and saved for that. So you don't have to work no extra to get us through the summer. And then I was like, you got 3 months of bills that you had already budgeted up. So I don't have to work no extra during the summer. She was like, yeah, I already got that straight. I said, shit, well, I'm gonna work some extra then because I don't want to fucking lose that. You know what I'm saying? And it's so amazing how we literally was just talking about getting a family membership at the YMCA so we can swim and just some of those extra luxuries that we are going to get this summer and do this summer in the midst of her not having a paycheck for 3 months because she done already thought about bills and saying we not gonna not live this summer just because she don't get a check. And that was so amazing how you just summed up that and we just had that conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I want to tell a story about this too, man. And it's powerful. And I don't even know how we got here, but we here. You know, like we talk about being the breadwinner as the man. Well, a man is as real as his reason. And his reason boils down to why. So that was this guy at work. We worked 12-hour shifts, on 3, off 2. But this guy, he worked on the other shift. But every time I would come when he supposed to be off, he was working. So his name KB. I was like, yo, KB, man, boy, you ain't took no day off in a long time. He said, yeah, man, I'm tired, man. He said, I worked 62 days straight. I said, come on, man. I said, it ain't been that long. 62 days straight working 12 hours a day. I said, man, why you working like that? See, he go to why. He said, man, I got to get this money. I said, why you need that much money? He said, man, my wife told me we ain't been on vacation, man, and she made me feel bad. And it's like the only way I can get my family vacation, I got to come and get it. I'm 62 days in, Trab. I'm tired, but I about got my goal. So when you understand the why and you have that reason, a man as real as his reason, nothing gives a man more of a reason than his woman. Why? It's like that's the algebra of life. You is as real as your reason. So that's the essence of being the breadwinner. Man, I'm gonna bake some bread and get some bread if my reason real enough. It's that simple.
Yeah, man. Like I said, man, I just always feel like, my wife has always considered me. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, just now in the story, like just saving for 3 months. You know what I'm saying? That's amazing to me, man. My wife, that's one of the things I love about my wife. My wife is so financially responsible. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, but I'm gonna work a little extra because I said, shit, well, if that's the case, if you got that saved and I work a little extra, shit, and I handle that, shit, we gonna use what you saved to get us a fence around the house. Cause my daughter, my daughter ready to be outside playing in the backyard. And when the boys was young, it's funny how I'm like, shit, I let them run around in the backyard, no problem. You know what I'm saying? And I won't even leave my wife and daughter in the backyard. I won't even let her sit on the deck when I'm not home. Somebody could walk up to your backyard. It's like, that's crazy how your mind is, or whether that's protection or paranoia kicking in. Either one, I don't know. But I'm like, shit, don't be out there till I get that damn fence.
Yeah, I'm glad you even said and made that point that your wife takes so much in consideration of you, because as powerful as that story was about his why, I ain't working no overtime. Man, I done put it in. Man, hey, look, man, I'm tired for real. And they wonder why I won't do it. They look at it, well, you must got more money than everybody.
Mm-hmm.
No, man, my wife got in consideration of me to know that, man, I ain't finna kill myself. And me working 62 days, 12 hours a day, man, she cared for me. So I can't do that, and I can't judge that man. But at least I understand his why. You know what I mean, man?
Sometimes, like what you just did, people, and I say it all the time in our race, we get caught up in the example and not get the point. Until you said that, I so got the point. I didn't say nothing about the example. Oh man, she working the hell out of him. She ain't considerate. You know what I'm saying? But I'm bringing it up just to say that's so wonderful how you said, as powerful as that story is, you're not doing that. But,
hell no.
But that don't mean that can't be a good fucking example.
Two different kind of breadwinners. You see what I'm saying, man?
Man, that's his why. She said, motherfucker, we need to go to Disney World, and you better get your black ass in there and get it.
Hey, Javon, it's like, why this motherfucker put ketchup on his peanut butter sandwich? I wanted some jelly so bad one day, and I had to try something that looked like jelly, and it worked. That's his why.
yeah. It's funny because my older brother, he retired from Glaxo. And they made fucking great money. I think motherfucker making like $45 an hour at one point. And he used to always tell me he loved my freedom. Like, little bro, I love your freedom. I love your freedom. How do you do this thing with your daily bread? Because that's when I was just selling detox, one-on-one counseling. Shit, I was making more money when I ain't had no fucking job. Just being real, like that's when I was popping on the internet. But he would always say, man, I got things I want to do and I'm scared to try it because, you know, I'm the financial guy. You know, I got 2 grown daughters that be needing help. You know, I want to make sure my wife and the house, da 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 da. And I remember when he came to me, he said, "Bro, man, I got a little something saved up, blah blah blah. I'll figure it out." He said, "Man, I'm sick of this fucking job." And he would always tell me how when he would say he gonna quit and retire, the guys on the job would be like, "You ain't leaving this gravy. You ain't leaving this gravy," because it's a pharmaceutical company, so they working on the inside. It's clean. It ain't no goddamn hard back breaking work. You know what I'm saying? You ain't leaving this gravy. You ain't leaving this gravy. And it's ironically when he decided he was gonna leave and felt like all that financial responsibility, he'll figure it out. He said, "Little bro, I'm retiring." And then it was like my job, which I hate to say, I hope my boss ain't looking. It's my homeboy. Man, when I tell you, God bless me with the most wonderful job in the world.
Yeah.
Because I swear to God. And then I was like, you know, I can get you on at my job. And when he came out there and saw what I do, he said, "Man, you mean to tell me this is what you do? And I'm quitting my job and I'm finna get on and do this with you and make this?" I said, "Yeah." It goes to show, I'm saying all that to say that as a man, that financial responsibility will hold you in a certain place for a long time or longer than you want it to be. And sometimes you just got to step out and say, you know what, I got an idea on my own. And if this idea don't work, I'll go back to picking up goddamn cans until something else happens. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How does it feel having what we call a good job and having hopes and dreams and visions for your own life and your own purpose, but that good job is what's holding the family down?
Well, you got to look at it from certain different perspectives. Like myself, I got a good job that hold me down, it's stability. But on the real side, there's something in me that I know that's greater than any walls, that's greater than any type of thing like that. So I got a family, but at the same time, I got dreams, I got talents, I got gifts, I got everything that I'm working with the intentions of building them to be at a platform level to where it ain't so much of me a risk stepping off or stepping down. You know what I mean? I want the transition to be smooth. But in that, you around people who ain't got no vision. That's where they at. That's who they is. And that ain't a bad thing. Like you said, they making $40 an hour, living good. But who are you to want more than this? So you find yourself wrestling, man. But like for me, I've lost a good job. In life, we gonna get tested. The rain will come. I remember playing basketball and I broke my foot and had to sit down for 6 weeks. Man, I panicked. And then I had to wake up and realize, man, you got short-term disability. You got all these things that you've been doing in the discipline of being an adult, being a real working man. And when the test come, you'll be surprised how much you don't realize you've really been prepared. But it's about being that along the way.
Yeah.
You can't just don't be real. Then when shit get real, you can't get real with it. So no matter what level you on, if you just real with it, it is as real to you as you real to it. And I think that's what like heroism, that's what Bears and Bubbles is about. It's about trusting the process and knowing that, once again, ain't nobody but the bullshit. But if I'm in the game for real, man, I've been working to be able to deal with a little bit of whether I'm getting fired or whatever.
Yeah. You know, like I said, Miss Carla produced the show, so she got some points that she definitely want me to hit. So I'm definitely going to stay close to these points, and then we just veer off how we do. Financial pressure. Share a story where you felt huge financial pressure to be the rock of your family. Like, share a story, if you don't mind, where a specific situation where you knew you had to get that damn bread.
Shit, boy. Hey, look. Hey, look.
Every time.
Every day every day I wake up. Now I'm gonna say it like this right here, man. Before I had kids, I could save money. I was disciplined. When I was 15 and I got my first job, my daddy told me when I got paid, I could only keep $20 out of my check.
Yeah.
I had to show him that. If I didn't show him that, he threatened to beat my ass. I cut hair, I did. He said, you better learn how to do something to make you some extra money, but your check better go in the bank.
Yeah.
So I ain't understand it. I would call my grandmama and cry. He won't let me spend my money. He won't let me spend my money. Then one day I went to the bank and I had $4,000 and I hooked up a car and I saw I could do the things I wanted. So before I had kids, I just followed that discipline. And when I was 28, before I had a family, I had $30,000 in the bank, never sold drugs, never done nothing illegal, was a homeowner, everything just by discipline.
Yeah.
But after I got a family, I got fired. Or in the process, I got fired. And I was so afraid of everybody who I thought was jealous of me, wanting to see me fall. I spent all my savings in 6 months mortgage, 6 months car payments, 6 months everything my wife had. I was determined to uphold who I was. And I think it was more about my ego than anything. I wasn't going to fall.
Yeah.
So after that, man, I was broke. Now I got a family. And still to this day, I ain't been able to save like enough for nothing. But I always have enough when the storm comes to make it through. And I said, man, it's powerful. So it taught me, for real talk, that money don't make you, you make money. And I'm more powerful since I can't get that big savings than I had when I had a big bank account. So every day is a struggle as a man. When I get sick, every day is a struggle, man. My son play high school football. It's going to cost me $1,000 in a time where we can't save hardly nothing. Just for my son to be able to participate in something that's rightful to him. So now, every day a struggle. And even when I do something, I know I want to, let me say this, but even when I do the things that make it worth living for my family, as the breadwinner, like I say, bro, mathematics ain't mathematics don't give a fuck how you feel now. You know what I mean? So that's real.
Yeah, that's crazy because like you said, every day is, and especially like I said, with me, it's always been different for me because I don't be looking at the money, but I can think of a specific time where I knew what we was going through because, my wife would come to me and she'll say, hey, ain't no weed money this week. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like she'll tell me like, yeah, whatever you got left for blah, blah, blah. And which is rare, but I can recall my last year teaching school before and she was like, just encouraging me to do the food thing. She was like, if people love your food, do the food thing. And, I had health insurance for the family and I was like, but she was just so encouraging. And I can remember once I quit and the food started blowing up, I felt a major pressure because at the time she had just started school when she wasn't working. I felt this major pressure for this food business to work. And man, when I tell you, real talk, when they say when you own a business, you a slave to yourself. Listen, I'm telling you, bro, I was getting up at 4 a.m. on a regular day, just prepping. Some mornings I had to drive to Charlotte to Restaurant Depot and back. Or when I finish, leave in the middle of the night so I can be at Restaurant Depot in Charlotte when they open at 4:30. Drive 2.5 hours back at 7 and prep because shit was going so good so fast. And sometimes you don't realize how much success can make you work. The pressure that I felt was this. literally. And my wife always has been able to come to me and she was like, you're making a lot of money and you're doing well and you're very popular and you're taking over the city. She said, but you working too hard.
Come on,
She saw me working. I'm working 12, 13 hours a day actually cooking.
come on.
Because it's got to the point where it was like, I'm so hot that I'm like, now I got an image. You know what I'm saying? I'm that nigga talking shit, fuck religion, fuck this, black power, this or that and the other. And I'm cooking and people buying the food and niggas saying, this motherfucker crazy. He could be like, now people think me and you crazy. People have said we crazy, but people like, I still buy this nigga food. And that's the arrogance that came over me. Like, I don't give a fuck what I said. You try this food, you coming to eat. You know what I'm saying? And it got to the point where holding that up. It wasn't even the financial responsibility because I was making a lot of money from it. It wasn't like I was struggling. It was the holding up that thing that was making my money. And it got to the point where she was like, shit, well, if you don't want to do it no more, go get a regular job. Figure it out. She's like, but that's how we living right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, go figure it out. So, man, that pressure, that time right there of trying to run a business for myself, like, I can understand how some people like turnkey situations. Like, shit, the job is already set up. You just show up, work your 8 hours, go home, get your check. You know what I'm saying? But that's the most pressure I ever felt in my life to provide financially, because it was like shit blew up so fast and was like, okay, now you got to uphold this shit. You know what I'm saying?
And one of the most powerful things about their story is, I got a saying where I say, we romanticize the idea of becoming with no reality of being.
Mm-hmm.
See, when you talk this leadership, entrepreneurship, anything about the ship, that means some people gather in your consciousness, in your intent, in your movement, and travel with you. So anytime you put a ship behind it, that means you taking somebody somewhere with you. So when you start talking these ideas of these ships, it takes being certain things to make this manifest. So just like you tell that, I'm the son of a junk man. I was raised by two free men, my daddy and his daddy. And he taught me how to work for yourself. Son, long as you got a truck, you can always be. So I was making my daddy proud, hauling junk and working a full-time job. Getting off on my days off. I mean, I'm doing. My daddy say, man, I thought you was finna take off. He said, boy, every day you was going in them companies. I'm doing everything that I'm sitting here trying to convince somebody of. But sometimes I even forget to mention that I had a business or I am a businessman. You see what I'm saying? But in that, when COVID hit, man, I had to go to the doctor. And they say I had been straining because I had been moving 2,000 pounds of steel by myself. I couldn't afford to pay a helper because this is what I'm doing extra to make the things work for me and my family.
Yeah.
Boy, I about killed myself. So now people look at it and say, my dad said, man, why you won't work no more? Why you let your business go down? Man, I want to live more and I want a little bit of extra. You see what I'm saying, man? People don't understand the pressure that if you ain't never had to be that, if you ain't never had to be the player on the field, that the whole crowd watching is saying, is he gonna win or is he gonna lose? In the bus ride home, it's on your back. Man, that's what every man go through in his own way. But you got to understand that, man.
But it's funny that how you say it. It's one thing to have to provide, but it's another thing to look like a failure even in your provision. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. Like, it's one thing to have to work a job. I don't care if you have to work 60 hours a week. If that job there, you going to work. So you look like you in the game all the time. But when you're doing something that's your own business, and that's how you make your income, but it's also attached to, nigga, you failed.
For real.
You know what I'm saying? People don't understand how that feels sometimes to fail in front of people. And the funny thing is, I don't consider the failure. I feel like I got motherfucking tired. You know what I'm saying? However, people always, man, when you gonna get the restaurant back? Grubs Kitchen, Grubs Kitchen, Grubs Kitchen. You know what I'm saying? They see it as failure. You know what I'm saying? So your ego being attached to how you make your money is a big thing. One of the things that she asks next is explain a situation where you felt guilted into giving something that you may not have, where you felt guilted. Well, have you ever did that where somebody guilted you? I know me personally, I've let people guilt me into giving when I didn't have, or giving my, like as granddaddy said, ain't no motherfucking extra money. You know, you got a couple of extra dollars, granddaddy said, ain't no goddamn extra dollars. But I felt guilted into giving the little extra that I might have had set back.
I felt guilted into not giving something I didn't have, and I was made or wanted to me to feel guilty about not giving something that they assumed I had.
Oh, okay. They tried to make you feel guilty, but the shit didn't work.
Yeah, hell no, because I'm real about mine, and I know who I am, and I know who matters and what matters. So from your perspective, like I say, you wager my discipline for you to try to count my numbers.
Yeah.
To determine what I got to give in my equation for you. Motherfucker, you crazy as hell. I'm that type of guy. So I turn the table over on that every chance I get. And I hope to cultivate myself around other men that truly understand that, to know that the best and most powerful thing you can give another man is a way, a light, and direction for him to fight and win his own fight. So, I don't deal with that fuck guilt.
You know, that's funny, because I say that. I say the same thing you just said. That's what I say about myself. But I found myself fussing about some shit. Like, say, for example, you might have a family member that smoke weed, or a family member that eat out a lot, and they need $50 from you.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I be talking shit. Don't fuck your money up on weed. Don't fuck your money up eating out and then gonna budget $50 of my money in your life. Don't do that shit, guys. I'm talking cash money, motherfucking shit. I be talking cash money shit in my head. But something in me be like, and I go to my wife, and my wife the same way. And I want to get Miss Carla to do our life numbers. And with family, she be like, well, if we got $50, like, just give it to him. And I be feeling the same way. And but then I be mad. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't motherfucking be budging in my life and your life. You know what I'm saying? But it's something in me that feels that, I don't know if it's my ego. I don't know what it is. Even with homeless people, man, I feel compelled to give. And I think that has some of that church bullshit that's still in me, growing up. And I don't even call it bullshit. You know what I'm saying? The Bible said be a cheerful giver. And it said give on every occasion. And it's also said it's more blessed to give than receive. So when I look at that, I look at it as it's more blessed. If you have it to give, you're more blessed than the person that needs to receive. Yeah. Like, I would rather be the person that had it to give than the person that needed to receive. So I find myself always feeling, and I will tell you something, Trav, and this is maybe you speak on this too. I be caring about what my friends and close people think about me a whole lot.
Yeah.
And sometimes I just want people to love me and like me and know that, you know what I'm saying? When we talk this shit, we talk, man. And we really prophets. We really prophets. And people don't realize that as a prophet, you speak the truth, but a lot of time you speak in doom. You get what I'm saying? You're warning the people and showing the people what can happen. And it's like, I don't be feeling loved. You know, and I ain't nobody's love. You know what I'm saying? But when I get an opportunity to shoot somebody a $20 cash app that's, you know, man, that shit bother me. You know what I'm saying? I don't be feeling loved. So when I get an opportunity to show somebody, or I got a cousin, right? I'll give you a perfect example. This nigga will send me a cash app request for $25. Some shit like for gas or $30. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I just do it for him sometimes just to show him I love him. You know what I'm saying? To show him, cuz somebody thinking about you, because he's kind of like the black sheep fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like I go out of my way sometimes to say, cuz I know you fucking up and everybody in the family think you a fuck up, but I got you goddamn back here and there and then.
Like even going to the topic, the breadwinner. Like I said, money is the result, or money is the end of a process. So when we talk about money and love and giving, you know, you got to put things in context. Nah, I ain't no money giver. I ain't got nothing to give. That's the only way I can say it. I ain't no money giver because I ain't got nothing to give. But what I do got to give, like I say, is a powerful conversation, a powerful ear, some wisdom, or some help. That's why I say, what can you do? When we understand what we do, you'll be surprised at what I can give you and what you can give me. Well, give me a hand painting my room then, brother, because I ain't got no extra money to give, because I done promised my wife I was going to get this room painted. Now, just so happen you can do this. Come help me, and we all we need. So sometimes we got to give each other some real sincerity in the moment. It ain't about $20. Be real enough to act. If you're real enough to ask for $20, be real enough to tell me why you need it. Because I might can give you 40 when I understand your why, or get you 100.
Boy, I tell you be preaching, man. That's why I say, man, be you, preach your shit, get in your spirit, man. Bring the spirit in, man. I love that shit. Like you said, I promised my wife I'm gonna get this room painted. But shit, if you willing to help paint it, you might can get 40 out of me. You know what I mean?
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. And really, it's just a matter of conversation, Trav.
You know, it's like this right here, man. We all got talents and gifts. Like you say, man, I ain't got nothing to eat, bro. Whatever. That's what you need $10 for. Well, just so happened, hey man, what you doing? Nothing over here. Like you say, they go to Taters. They go to, man, I'm in here prepping, man. Taste these egg rolls right here. I'm working on some new egg. You know, so you just got to be sincere in the moment. And it'll always work out. And even as a man, like I say, we make what we make. Our life is dependent on, our lane is created by what we can do and how well we can do it. You can't want steak if you can't do things to bring in steak wages. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you and your wife understand y'all level, she real enough to want things in y'all lane to where y'all always got enough. You see what I'm saying? Man, she know how to make it work, man.
That's so amazing how you say that. Like, because I said a lot of the financial stress that I never know is because the way I run my house. You know what I'm saying? My grandfather told me, as a man, you give your woman your check, and she won't develop a taste in her mouth for things that she know y'all can't afford. Because she said when she see you come home and take them goddamn boots off, and you done been out there 12 hours a day, and she see you tired and she see you working hard, she appreciate your check. So she don't want shit that's beyond your means. And that's one thing I've always said. My wife has never, wanted beyond our means. Now, don't get me wrong. My wife's the type of person that saved money, then all of a sudden she come home, she done bought some shit that cost $700. I said, why did and she like, that's what I wanted. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have no problem with that. But the point I'm making is, overall, when you have a person in your life that understands what y'all plan is and what y'all got going on, they're not going to put that pressure on you for some bullshit. Like
For
you said,
real.
marginalizing the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? There's a certain pressure I don't feel because I'm always willing to say no for certain things. You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying? My brother he's very financially responsible. And he was telling me one time, one of our cousins the guy was telling I was looking out for. And this is the next thing. Betrayal. Have you ever felt betrayed because you had to tell somebody no? Because long story short, my brother was like such and such. Yeah, he love you. You look out. He said, tell him no one time and see how he act.
Man.
And I told the motherfucker no, and he acted like a goddamn fool. Have you ever felt a betrayal behind not giving somebody something or being that financial backbone?
Man, I had two brothers, right? Two different situations. My wife had, at the time, she was my girl, but she had just moved in with me. And me and him was tight. We was best friends all through high school, right? When you saw him, you saw me. But sometimes when we come to that point in life, when the why take over, you know what I mean? He go his way, I go my way, but we still tight, but we in two different lanes. He got caught up in some situations with drugs. Me, I'm working, doing the right thing. So he would call me now to say, hey man, one day, man, let me borrow $40. I say, man, I ain't got it, man. And I didn't have it. That was mortgage week. Everything on ice when it's time to dump. You see what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know what's gonna be there when the smoke settle and the dust clear. So
Yeah.
I'm on strict discipline within my own self. So I ain't got it, cuz. So he called me back that night and say, what's up? I say, man, I'm out eating. I thought you ain't have it. How you out eating? Our relationship ain't been the same since that day. That's been about
Wow.
20 years ago. And I had another cousin who was a dope boy, who I watched go stay anywhere and everywhere and make it hot and elude with no responsibilities, who had probably $100,000 in the bank that felt like he could come stay with me because I own my own home and by myself, and put the pressure on me to say, you gonna let your cuz who ain't got nowhere to go come to you. And I had to realize and let him understand. You don't think I pay attention to what the fuck you do to let you do it to me? You out your motherfucking mind. And we ain't been the same since then. So sometimes you got to be a man and stand on real shit and know who matters and what matters. And when motherfuckers don't really matter when their name ain't gonna be bold when the credits roll, yeah, put them small to say the motherfucker that taught me a lesson. Bottom
Yeah,
line.
you know, even in that betrayal, in that betrayal, do you ever feel like you said, y'all ain't been cool since 20 years? I had a brother call me today that I felt like betrayed me in a certain way that I tried to help. And I'm just kind of like, it's been 3 weeks, nigga, since we talked. I'm comfortable not ever talking to you again. It's like Usher, let it burn.
Yeah.
You know, if anybody that's in my life I love sincerely, I ain't gonna let you get close to me unless I sincerely adore you and love you. You won't get close to me in no way, form, or fashion. I love you, brother. That's why we on this podcast together.
Yeah.
I won't let no motherfucker get close to me unless I admire him and love him for some reason. So
Yeah, but let me say this. Sometimes as you talking, I don't even know if it's sometimes betrayal. Sometimes we dealing with people and they on a certain level. Like I say, man, you done put a lot of work in understanding who you is. I put a lot of work in. Certain people ask us things or expect certain things from us that from our level of understanding, man, I never expect that from another man. So therefore, can't no man disappoint me. Expectations is the seed of disappointment. So when your expectations of another person ain't rooted in a certain maturity, you gotta accept that's who they is at that time. But if they real and if they growing, they'll look back and realize, man, I was wrong for expecting that for you. And y'all will get back real. And if you don't, they ain't grown. They still ain't grown yet. And you got to be cool with that.
Because what you said, homeboy talk about he want to borrow $40 and then call you later and had the unmitigated gall to say, I thought you ain't have it, you eating. Man, that would have made me want to get in my, I'd have got in my car and went and fight him. That's how angry I get over something like that. I have when somebody question my heart, you know what I'm saying? Like, and so, like you said, y'all ain't been the same in 20 years, so maybe he ain't grown.
But check this though. We still don't talk, but I can say this. When I do talk to him, it's like time lapse. And one of the last time I talked to him, he said, Trab, I'm going to tell you something real, man. He said, man, secretly I competed with you all through high school. He said, man, and I felt like competing with you made me better, man. When you got your car, I got me a car. It was like, as long as you was doing your thing, I felt like if all I had to do was compete with you. So when I look back at it and he was in his low, see, jealousy and envy is a real thing, man. But when you really got that light and that glow, you got to stop taking that so personal. It has to be an opposite of confidence. It has to be an opposite of that. So when some people witness you, like you say, in real life, man, that's when you admire something with no understanding of how to obtain or be that, it turns into jealousy. So a lot of those guilt, a lot of those betrayals, you have to be able to understand that to not, you're going to hate motherfuckers forever, bro. And you'd be surprised how many people you're going to start hating if you don't mature to understand. That's just what comes with running the ball and being the one.
I got a partner. He's bitter right now. When I tell you he's bitter, long story short, he was the financial provider for his stepdaughter. And when she graduated, she didn't give him a ticket to her graduation. I think she had maybe 10 tickets, and some family came in, some cousins, her boyfriend, and he just like, she was supposed to get him a ticket, and he about to leave his wife behind that shit. He like, I didn't raise your child, and you didn't quarterback for me to get a ticket, and I bought the goddamn cap and gown. That nigga, as we speaking of betrayal, that nigga feels so betrayed right now, and that's one of those things. But how the fuck is he not supposed to take that person? My wife up there talking about, yup, don't take it personal.
well, like I say, man, once again, ain't nobody above the bullshit, but the bullshit will make you better if you're real enough to deal with. What he really got to understand is why, and he got to trust his ability to see if she really to stand on it and get out his feelings and have that conversation. If he could give her that much in the end, he got to want the conversation to at least understand why, to know where she's coming from. She might have a logical reason based off her maturity. I don't know. She could be on some bullshit. But if he don't know why, he ain't good at his own algebra of life.
So I ain't want you there because my daddy was going to fight you.
but you see what I'm saying, though, man? My daddy told me, goddamn, my daddy said, and now she didn't know how to deal with the bullshit her daddy brought on her. So it be that simple. But if we ain't going to solve the equations that we in, then see, you be misunderstanding guilt and all of this shit, and it be like, shit, I don't know. I just thought they told me you hit at the number house for 500 that week. That's why I asked for 40. Who the fuck told you that?
That's how I got the ghetto number.
Hey, look, and that be, look, man, all jokes aside, dog, that be the sum of a 20-year relationship that's gone sour because a motherfucker asked me for $40, and I'm like, motherfucker, I ain't got $40 because another bullshitter done told him,
you hit the number.
I saw that nigga cash in a $1,000 lottery ticket the other day at the store. You know what I mean?
Damn, boy, that shit funny as hell. Like I said, you don't know why they thinking like they think. You can't hold it against them, but god damn. One of the things that she said
be on dumbass reason, but
Yeah.
she might be for real as hell.
Man, such told me you bought some food stamps, so I know you had a couple of extra dollars. You got half on your grocery bill this month. So one of the questions was why and when being the finance. See, it's different for me. It always be different for me. Financial boundaries, telling your wife and children no when you know you got it. When you have to like how does that feel? Like when you say, for example, your son football camp. I'm assuming it's a football camp, but it could be for any fucking thing. You say you had to pay $1,000 for him for football. Has there ever been a time where you had to tell your wife or children no, and they looking at you like, Daddy, we know you got this motherfucking money, and you like, yeah, I got it, but fucking no, just because this ain't a wise decision? And how does that feel? For me, I always go to my wife and say, can we do that? My wife would say, we going on vacation. You want to go somewhere? I say, shit, if you know if we can do it or not, you know what I'm saying? So it's almost like a cop out for me. People, a lot of my homeboys be saying I'm copping out, but I'm like, nigga, that's just how I do it. That's how my granddaddy did it. I ain't saying it's right. I ain't saying it's wrong. That's just how I get down. But can you explain a situation like that? Or has there ever been a situation that occurred like that, you know, where you just had to tell your son or your wife no, and you had it? And how do you feel when you make a boss decision like that?
It goes back to what matters and who matters, or who matters and what matters.
Yeah.
If it come down to my children wanting something, or me and my wife having a conversation, I got to check down. That shit really don't matter. No, hell no. You know what I mean, Daddy? Daddy, can we go here? No, you know what I mean? You know, it's simple. But if it's something that really matters, and I don't have it, or I don't see it at the moment, like I said, we can talk faith, we can get into religion, but for me personally, I believe that in my discipline, that if I'm waking up every day and running this play, man, wholeheartedly,
yeah,
first down or a touchdown, and if my children or wife come up in situations of life where, hey, Daddy, I got to have this, and I know this is a representation of something that they sincerely and genuinely in, man, I just believe it's gonna be there because the movie got this the kind of movie it is. That's gonna be there. And even when I don't know how, boy, I swear I'm too real to go wrong. You feel what I'm saying, man? And that carried me, dog. I don't know how to make that sound. That you call it faith.
You gonna get it. You gonna get it. Like you said with the $1,000 for your son. Is it for a football camp?
No, man. In high school football, that's what it costs now. To play high school football, roughly $1,000. Roughly right at $1,000, dog. For real.
Y'all had to buy your own uniforms now?
Well, they got like a 125 fee, and then they got camps within that package of the summer that's mandatory. Then they got it's about $1,000 if your son gonna participate.
If he gonna play at a good high school.
Yeah, and they do the fundraisers where each child got to send out 20 emails hoping to get up this money. But it's a whole different thing. And like you say, when you talk about breadwinners and people who out here fighting a good fight, that's raising families to have a child. They got the academic requirements. They got the discipline. Like I say, I watch 150 kids get dropped off at 5 a.m. in the morning to go out through a rigorous workout. But it's like you don't hear that narrative. It's way more high school young men that's being positive in a city than it is YNs out here doing ignorant shit. But nobody talks about that the filtration of these young men causing some real people who ain't on welfare, who ain't getting assistance, who's sitting here working, paying $800-900 in insurance, who's spending, all of these things that life piling up on us. And then we get the extra, almost penalty for having good kids that want to do more than
hell yeah, you bougie. This nigga think his child. I can remember a situation where my sons wanted to go to this football camp. And I was telling my wife, I was like, shit, I play defensive end. I'm gonna show him about 4 moves. He gonna be all right.
Yeah.
And I think she felt a little certain type of way because I was like, hell no. And then after I said that, I had to say, well, he ain't really good enough to go to the motherfucking camp. Like, I had to say it, and it was like, well, we got it, and I be in this.
But not on all seriousness in that though. But think about the hurt as I ain't even gonna say just as a man, as a couple, as a mother and a father, to see that light in your child and know you believe in your child doing something, and it come down to, can I afford? It comes down to money. Yeah. Can I really show my child how much I believe in him or not? And now you got to filter if he ain't good enough. You got to filter all of this shit through money. So you can't let these moments define you in this day and time. We got to see.
I think the thing that hurt the most, like we say, on the question about the question and having to say no, is like, I literally didn't think it was worth paying $1,000 for him to go to camp that summer for football. And I was like, you're not that good enough. I'm gonna show you a couple of moves. And the funny thing is, it hurt my wife's feelings, and I know she probably was like, motherfucker, I make more money than you, nigga. I want to send my son to camp. And I was like, nah, he not good enough. I'm going to show him some stuff. And ironically, it's crazy because what I taught him that summer, he used, and he ended up getting fucking defensive lineman of the year. You know what I'm saying? Without the camp. So
if you truly would have had 1,000, it wouldn't have been no question. He could have went.
Now we had 1,000. I mean, he literally wasn't good enough to go to camp. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I know if he would have, see, this is the thing. He didn't realize I was protecting him.
Come on.
I know if he would have went to camp at his skill level, they'd have laughed at him so bad that he'd have quit the fucking camp, or it would have discouraged him. I don't think sometimes people, like, say, for example, I'll give you a perfect example. I went to a small high school, 2A, right? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? When I got to college, most of the guys on my team had played 4A ball or better. You know what I'm saying? In North Carolina, we had the 4A state championship. So I looked at 4A like, yeah, that's big ball. But I played ball with guys from Texas, fucking Florida, Oklahoma. They got 8A, goddamn 9A football. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when I got to college, coming from a 2A school, the things that I knew, my first few weeks of practice, oh man, they laughed at me. But this was college. I was already, the techniques that my old school, old man, cigarette smoking coaches had taught me, that shit didn't transfer in the goddamn. Hit him with that forearm when you come off the line. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming off the line. That's my number one motherfucking move. That's some shit they remember from Deacon Jones back in the day.
Yeah.
You know saying, I come off the line hitting these motherfuckers with my forearm. I'm giving them my. You see what I'm saying? So it was so funny how I'm using that as an example to say, man, I wanted to fucking cry every day at practice. Like, hey, country boy. I remember my defense line coach used to be like, boy, you gonna catch the first fucking thing smoking back to Warren County coming up here doing this bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't know nothing about no bull rush, no one-arm bull, swim move, all that shit, dip, rip. I ain't know nothing about all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Forearm, push that motherfucker. So I knew that was going to be one of those situations if he'd have went to camp. So we had it, and that was the thing that hurt. The fact that I know we had it, and I know my wife was making more money than me, and I was just like, I couldn't say to her. All I said was, look, he ain't good enough. He going to embarrass himself. You know what I'm saying? I didn't explain it to him like that. You know what I'm saying? But that's how it was. Look, real quick, because my wife laughing, it was a situation that year before that, he had made the Pop Warner team. 7th grade year, he go out for the team, and he get cut, and his best friends make it because they're a year older than him, and they mom standing out there when I pull up talking about he got cut, but I talked to the coach. He's gonna be the manager. I said, no, the hell he ain't.
Yeah.
I said he gonna come his ass home and he gonna work out and he gonna goddamn go back next year and make the motherfucking team. I told him in the car, boy, he cried like hell because he just want to be with his friends and get a jersey. I said, you're not gonna be the manager. You don't understand what's happening right now. My wife was like, let him be the manager.
Hey, look, man. Hey, let me ask you this right here. That summer when he didn't go to camp, was he really mad that he didn't get to go?
Oh, he was disappointed like a motherfucker. But that's when I went out in the yard and really taught him how to play defensive end. You know what I'm saying?
Other than you talking this now, did he ever hear really why? Other than now?
No.
But look, man, if I ain't took nothing from the night, and I don't know how we got there with that why, but that why bad motherfucker, man. But hey, look, he need to understand that because what if that summer impacted him?
Yeah.
In your relationship forever, man, that motherfucker ain't never believed in me. And here it is now, he damn near 30 to really understand why and know that you knew better. And it really made, man, hey, look, man, that's some real, I don't know if that's on the topic or not, but
hey, it's on topic because it's a situation where the question was financial. Do you have the money and happen to say no? Look, since you said that, it's like me and my wife, she can laugh. Andy made me proud this weekend. We was just over here talking about some real shit. My youngest son had the opportunity to go to Student U, which is this program for the smartest kids. Now, my oldest son was damn near a genius, so he got to go through this program, but they'll let your little brother and sister come through just because you was in the program. So basically, it's kind of like early college. You see what I'm saying? So my youngest son, he get the opportunity. He come to me and we sitting down, all of us out at dinner. My wife out, she slick with it. We out at dinner because she know I can't say hell fucking no in the restaurant. So she like, yeah, Davion got the opportunity to be in Student U like day one. Da, 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 da. I said, how? They said, well, he can just grandfather in through his brother. I said, no, that don't make sense. And she like, what do you mean it don't make? I said, it don't make sense. And then he came at me with that shit you just said. You don't believe in me, and I just want to believe you to believe in me. And my guidance counselor said, if you believe in me, it'll probably make me work harder. Just show me you believe in me. And I said, boy, you ain't never made the goddamn honor roll. And you think we gonna put you in early college? Hell no. I looked at my wife like, what the hell is wrong with you? But it was a situation where she was in college. My oldest son was in college. And my youngest son was going to get to go to early college. So she's just hyped that all three of them going to be on the same college campus at the same time. I said, hell no.
And that was the real reason why y'all was having that conversation, because
over dinner.
It was about all three of them being in college. It wasn't about him being smart. And that ain't good or bad or right or wrong, but that was the real why. And that, amen. That's a beautiful
I still
thing.
say you never know. She said, I still say you never know. Now, Trab, we talking about this shit is, he finna have to go to college in high school, taking real college courses. Now, my goddaughter did that shit.
Yeah.
But she want to put him in that, and he ain't made the honor roll? Hell no, we can't let you do that.
Yeah. Man, I want to make this point too. I think you tell some beautiful, powerful stories tonight. And it's like, that's the practicality of anything you can hear about life, love, relationship. I mean, we all can sit here and draw X's and O's on the clipboard and say, I can draw a play better than you because the X gonna cancel out the Y. But it's like, that don't mean nothing till you run the play.
Mm-hmm.
And running the play means simply getting up every day. If you're in a relationship, if you're not, where you're trying to go. If you don't know where you're going, any road gonna take you there. If you're not in a relationship, you're going to find someone to be compatible with, to spend your days with. If you're in a relationship, you're waking up every day, moving in the direction to maintain, grow, and hopefully remain connected with everybody that matter. And we got to go through some shit to either get to that or maintain that. But these stories are the practicalities of real life shit.
Yeah, man, I love the fact that we can sit down here and have a conversation about a topic, you know what I'm saying? And we veer off, and you know what I'm saying, but there's still a level of purpose, you know what I'm saying? Otherwise, shit, we can sit up here and talk about goddamn the squirrel in the basketball game, and that shit is pointless and purposeless. Before we wrap it up, man, sometime as a black man, they expect us to get a second job. Well, men in general, make it happen. Almost be a martyr, like outside of your health. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, the brother worked fucking 12 hours a day, 67 days a week. I mean, 67 days straight. That can't be good for your health.
Hell no.
You know what I'm saying? It can't be good for your health. Now, they might have did that in slavery. They got a damn day off in slavery. But if they did that during slavery, it was forced. It was required. It wasn't specifically to get nobody a vacation.
Also, he could go to Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
For 4 days. And I ain't saying that ain't worth it, but hey, look, like you said, you go sleep like a motherfucker when you get there.
Yeah. So sometimes they expect us to be a martyr outside of your high blood pressure. I got a homeboy now that's he done gained a lot of weight and he's still doing the same job, and the motherfucker be talking about his foot and he gotta wear different socks, and just sitting down talking to this man, I feel like this man is martyring himself for the sake of the lifestyle they living. Have you ever felt any level of depression, sadness, sickness, whatever is associated with being the fucking financial provider?
Yeah. As a husband and a father, like you say, we all want that feeling and make life feel like it's worth living. It's certain things I feel like my wife and children deserve, not compared to anybody or not anybody's standard.
Yeah.
My children and my wife get influenced by social media like everybody else.
Yeah.
You see everybody traveling and doing things. So from her perspective of being real, we went on vacations through her plan and through her desires and me reaching to make that happen for her, but rooted in understanding when I get there, regardless of all the sacrifices I made, what a love and relaxation and I get and appreciation I feel reminds me that she really knew we needed this shit. We needed this. So a lot of those things, man, that regardless of what inspire them, they deserve that shit.
Yeah.
And boy, I don't see a way right now because they don't understand the pressure of manhood.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that can get heavy. And when you got dignity, you got morals, you got all of these principles in you to do the right thing, when the wrong things or the wrong intentions can maybe make it a little easier, but you can't be that. So they get heavy on the head, man. I ain't gonna lie. And I ain't ashamed to say it. It get heavy on the head. But that's why we write books. That's why every day we come on here and we go live. And I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm checking my traps. I'm checking my Facebook account, hoping that one video, one message spring forward to become you see what I'm saying? So
yeah.
Hell yeah, it get heavy, man. And I can't expect nobody to understand it except for another man that's in it, trying to go to the same place. I don't expect nobody else to feel this shit if you ain't a real hero fighting this here fight.
You already know what time it is, Trav. That right there might have motherfucking summed it right on up. Family, Trav goes live every Thursday night on Facebook at, he called it 9 something.
Yeah, 9:30. Come on at 9:30 and get your popcorn and get ready. We finna go ham by 9:45.
Amazon, he has a book, Hero Training. Speak to him about your book real quick before we go.
Yeah, man, Hero Training, The Power of Perspective. You can get it on Amazon. Just type in Hero Training, The Power of Perspective. It's an image book with passages designed to help you think and really understand the perspective of which you see things, because that's where your power lies.
Yeah, and like I said, man, the power of perspective. I love the title because it's like, shit, you are what you see yourself as, no matter how you cut that shit up. No matter how you cut that shit up. It's like, I'm learning from the book more. I'm getting this concept of, we think we live in life, but we really creating life. You know, we think we live in this life. Like people be like, Lord is so. You remember that song, CeeLo Green and them? Let's sing it, Trav. Lord is so hard
living his life.
A constant struggle. Sing that shit, Trav. You know you can sing
I
that
don't know. You don't mess. I don't know the word. I ain't good at them words.
Yo, remember that shit? Yeah, man. It's like we got this concept of Lord is so hard living this life, but no, really, Lord is so hard living this life that we are projecting. Yeah. Lord is so hard living this life that we are creating from our own perspective. If we just had a different perspective, our life would be different. So that's what I'm getting more than anything out the book, man. And
I want to sing this though.
Go ahead.
You made me sing a gospel song, and I'm gonna say you made me sing this. I ain't never had no song where I sung Jesus' name, but you made me do this. So I'm gonna sing it.
Go ahead and give it to us.
Say, I've been trying to let go and let God. I didn't know it was gonna be this hard. The devil been riding me. I'm asking Jesus to please save me. Oh Lord, please save me. And with his understanding and my understanding, he asked me to sing that song. And in that understanding, even with my book, his message and my message, that Jesus is the power within you that brings the light. When thine eye be single, the body shall be full of light. But when thy eye be darkness, oh, how great is the darkness. You got ego, you got consciousness. When they stop fighting each other and become one, that's when you see clearly with one vision, one goal, one people, one love, one God. So when the devil riding me saying, I got to prove and I got to be, Jesus in me say, you already is. Just be you and get the world what you got.
Well, that it is, family. Y'all know, man. Y'all know, like me, I must tell y'all, like I always say, stay tuned in, tapped in, and turned on. Y'all check me and Miss Carla out tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Same place. Peace.